Welcome to Become a Puppet Master, a tutorial series focused on helping you become a Toonboom Puppet Master. I am your host, DeAndre Reed, professional animator and owner of Moco Productions, so let's jump in. So in this episode, we will be rigging this s'more character. We'll be using the principles we learned in the last couple of episodes to rig this character. We'll be breaking it into a few different pieces on the rig. So we'll have the body, the main body, which is the graham cracker, the chocolate, the marshmallow, and then the graham cracker in the back. Then we'll have each eye, each eyebrow, the mouth, the arms, the upper and lower, and then the hand, upper and lower, then the hand, and then the legs, upper and lower, then the feet, upper and lower, and then the feet. So let's jump right in. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to create another layer, and we'll start with the body. So Control R. Oh, click here, Control R. We'll call this layer body. And add and close. So a nice trick is pressing for drawing over character designs to create rigs. You want to press this light bulb, this light table, and boom. It makes the drawing in the background a little lighter. That way you can draw over top of it when you're creating your rigs. So let's just trace over this body here. Okay, so we have this body all drawn out. Now we want to color it. So I already have the color set here. So I'm going to go ahead and start coloring this body. Okay, we have the body all colored. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock this body layer because that's how it looks, and I'm done with it. I'm going to lock it, and I'm going to turn it off by clicking these eyes here. Boom. So now we want to create another layer, and we'll start with the far eye. So we'll call this far eye. Calling it far eye because we're at a 3/4 and this eye here is farther away. So we'll call it far eye. And now I'm going to add and close. And then we're going to draw that, trace over that far eye. Same as we did with the body. Now we have this far eye drawn. We want to do the same thing. I go ahead and hide it, lock it, and then hide it. Boom. Now we want to do the near eye. Same thing, Control R, near eye, and add and close. And we're done with the near eye. Let's cut this off, lock it, create another one. We'll do the far eyebrow. Call it far brow. Add and close. Now the same thing with the other side. We'll call it near brow. Lock. Here, Control R. Near brow. Near brow done. Now we got to do the mouth. Lock this near brow, cut it off. Mouth. Mouth. We'll call it mouth. Control R to bring up this add drawing layer box. Add and close. Now we're going to lock. Turn off the mouth. Now we have the arms and the legs remaining. So we'll draw the back arm, the upper arm. So far upper arm. Control R. We'll call it far upper arm. Add and close. Now we are going to create this upper arm here. So we're going to do the same thing we did previously on the hand and forearm and on the legs. Start with a circle. Let's go stretch down. Stretch down. Well, gotta move this circle over some. Needs to be about right there. Go down. We want to go about down to where the elbow would be located. So we will call that the elbow. It's about the elbow. And then go here. This circle needs to be a little smaller. We'll adjust this so that it goes to the middle of this circle, and then adjust this side so it goes to the middle of this circle. And then we can select it. What I'm using right now is the contour editor tool. We can select it and then we can just pull it so that all these points. So this arm needs to be hidden behind the s'more. So I pulled it up so that the top of the arm isn't going to be able to be seen. And then we're just going to color this arm black. Boom. Now we're going to create a lower arm. So we want to take this circle that we had here. It's still there. And select this circle. See? So we want to select this circle, Control copy, Control C. Now lock this, turn the upper arm off. Actually, we don't even have to do that. So we're going to lock it, and then we're going to press Control R, add the lower arm, L-O-W-E-R, far arm, lower far arm, that far lower arm, far lower arm, add and close. Now we're going to Control V to paste that circle back. See, it looks like we lost part of the circle. Go here. I don't know how that happened, but let's copy this little piece and then paste it onto the lower arm layer. Not sure how that happened. Okay, so let's go back to locking this far upper arm and opening and going to the far lower arm layer. Okay, and then create the circle at the bottom where the hand will be attached. So this will be the wrist. So we have the elbow and the wrist here. And we'll connect these with a line from here to here. Make sure this line ends in the middle of this circle. There you go. And then we're going to color this one as well. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now, we're going to lock this one. Control R, we're going to make the hand So far hand, add and close. We want to copy this circle from the last one, from the far lower arm. Control copy, go back to the hand, Control V. Now we want to create the hand. Boom. So now we want to paint this hand black as well. And we have an arm. So we want to go back and set these pivot points for the arm. So the way we would do that is select them with our selection tool. Select the circles. Then remember, we need to go to the drawing pivot tool. Set it to the middle. Boom. So the upper arm is moving. This would be the shoulder. Is going to move from the shoulder. The lower arm will move from the elbow, because your lower arm moves from your elbow joint. So we're going to do the same thing. Select that circle, and then you go to the pivot tool, the drawing pivot tool. Set it right in the center. Boom. Now we're going to go to the hand, zoom in, select the circle, drawing pivot tool, center. Boom. So let's move on to let's lock all these. We can turn them off as well. Now we're going to move on to the near arm. So Control R, near upper arm. Now we have the body, the two eyes, the two eyebrows, the mouth. Now all we need is the legs. So we can turn these off. Control R. We'll start with the far upper leg. We'll call it far upper leg. Add and close. Then these legs are behind the graham crackers of the s'more. So create a circle there for the hip. That would be the hip joint that the upper leg is connected to, and then this would be the knee. And then we'll connect these two circles to create the leg. And then we'll paint them. Then we'll select this knee circle. Control copy, Control C. Now we'll lock this upper leg since we're done. Control R. And we will call this far lower leg. Add and close. Now Control V to paste that circle. Control V again, because we created a knee and now we need an ankle. Put her down here. And then we'll connect these two circles. And now we need to color it. Boom. And we have that lower leg. So now again, copy this bottom circle. Control C. Lock this. And Control R to create a new layer. We'll call this far foot. Add and close. Control V. Now we want to create this foot coming off of the ankle. Boom. Foot done. Paint it. Now we have a leg. We have a far leg. So we can turn that off. And now Control R. Call it near upper leg. Add and close. Same thing. Start with a circle. And done. Now we should have a full s'more character. So let's go down to the bottom here. First we'll click all these eyes. Boom, turn everything on. Now at the bottom we'll turn this more layer off, our original layer. And now, hey, look at that. We have a character with a bunch of different parts. There's one problem. Some of these parts aren't in the right positions. So like this forearm is supposed to be behind the body, and these legs are supposed to be behind the body. So how do we achieve that? First thing we'll have to do, we'll have to go over to our node view, and wow, there are a bunch of drawings on top of each other. We actually fixed this last time too. Remember, we selected everything, all these drawings except for the drawing and the composite, which is this big bottom layer here. And then we pressed this button, order node view up, remember? Pressed OK. And it separated everything. Now, the best way to go about organizing all these drawings is by creating separate composites. And composites are the things that the drawings sit on top of. It's an easy way to organize things into different groups. So for example, we want to add a composite for the arm, each leg, and the face. Okay? And then there will be one for the body. So the way you add composite is you can either come to the node library, type in composite, and then it's right here. Or you could press Control H, and that'll create a composite in the node view. So first thing, boom. Now we want to think about what is the thing that is farthest on top. What is the thing that is on top of everything else? The face. The face is on top of everything else. The face is on top of the body, which the body is on top of this arm, this forearm, and these legs. And then the only other thing on top of the body is this near arm. So the face and this near arm are on top of the body, but the face is in front of the arm as well, right? So we will call this the face composite. Face underscore comp. Boom. So now we want to find the face. Now we want to find the face drawings in here. So first thing we want to do is go back, hit this lock button. Oh, we want to go back and unlock all of these. Okay. Boom. Now we can select the eye And then if you go over here, and I'm pressing spacebar to get the hand, or you can go over here and press the hand button and select the hand. For some reason that's not working. But if you press the spacebar in the node view, it'll select the hand. And you hold the spacebar and you can move around like that. You hold the spacebar, click, and you can pull the node view around. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to find the parts of the face. So the way you do that is you select your transform tool, select the eye. Now you can press the magnifying glass, boom, and it takes you to the eye. So we want to take this near eye, move it over here, and we want to connect it to the composite. Near eye. So this face composite is to the far left. So it's in front of everything else. The far left is, the farther left you go, the farther in front the thing's connected. So since this is the farthest left, the face is on top. The farthest right is what's on the bottom. So right now it's our s'more drawing, and under that, and on top, just on top of that, is the body. So the farther left you go is the farther in front your drawings are. The farther right you go, the farther in back your drawings are. So hopefully this starts to make sense. So we grab the near eye so we could bring it to the front of all of these drawings, in front of all of these drawings. So now we want to select the near eyebrow. We go back in here, press the magnifying glass, drag this eyebrow over here, and then grab this pipe, I guess you could call it, wire, and plug it in. Now the brow and the near eye are on the face comp. And actually, if you think about it, the eyebrow should be able to go over the eye. So we need to move this brow in front of the eye. So the way we did that is we just moved it left. Boom. Now it's the farthest left, so it's in front of the near eye. So now we want to select the far brow. Go back in here. Space bar to select the hand. Then magnifying glass. And far brow. So we want to move it over here. And then take the wire. Plug it into the face comp. Boom. Now these are together. So if you do this, you see they all turn a little blue. That's because they're all in the same comp. So last thing, well, one of the last things, we need this eye and then this mouth. So we're going to click on the eye. Then we're going to hit spacebar to grab the hand and move over a little bit, and then hit this magnifying glass. Take this far eye, we found it. Move it over here. Take the wire connected to the far eye. You know it's connected because you can see that it's darker than the others. You know this is the one because it's darker than the others. And then you plug it in here. And now that far eye is connected to the face comp. So now we're going to take this mouth. Same thing. Pull it over here. Grab the wire. Connect it here. Boom. Now the mouth is connected to the face comp. So now you have this entire face. So next thing we want to do is we want to set the pivot points, because these pivot points are not correct. Right? Look at this. Pivot point for the eyebrow is over here. This eyebrow, it's over here. This eye, it's on the corner. This eye is over here. The mouth, it's up here. So it's all over the place. Well, it looks like it's actually in one place for all of the drawings, which is not where we want our pivot point to be. So we want to put the pivot point in the middle of the brow, of each brow. So we do what we always do. You select it, then you get the pivot point tool, the drawing pivot tool. We want it to be in the middle here, so you get your selection tool, select it, drawing pivot, boom. Set it right in the middle. Now it's in the middle. Select this eye, select the circle with the selection tool, boom, set it in the middle. Good. Now this mouth, we want the mouth also to be set in the middle. Select it, pivot tool, boom, set in the middle. There we go. Now we want to create all the pegs for these drawings. So remember, we can select them and then right click, insert parent peg. Boom. Now we created all the parent pegs for these drawings. And pull these out. They all went behind here. Okay. So let's pull these out. Then we can select all of them. We could just drag them all at once. The way I'm moving like this is I'm hitting the space bar, holding it, and I'm able to move around the screen like that. So we'll go ahead and adjust these so they're in the right places. So now we have all of these drawings with pegs on them. So next, we want to set the pivot to the peg layer as well, the parent peg layer, because right now, see, it's back to the same place. That pivot is back to the same place if we select the pegs. So the way we would do this is, remember last time we went to the yellow box, apply embedded pivot on parent peg. So now the brow peg is in the spot that it's supposed to be. The brow pivot for the peg is in the spot that it's supposed to be. So I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of these. On the parent pegs to the same place as they are on the drawing layers. Now we want to add one more peg. So I went to the node library, typed in peg, and this peg is going to be the face peg. It's going to control everything in the face. And the way we make it control everything in the face is by taking all of these pegs from our drawings and connecting it to the face, because all of these are elements in the face. So now we have a peg that can move the entire face. So if the character needs to look over here some or look over here some, we can move the face, all of the elements in the face at once. Okay, and we want to set that to the middle. So what I did was took this rotation tool and I just moved it over some, and that will make the face peg pivot point in the middle. You'd have to adjust it by hand. Okay, so next thing we want to do the same thing, create a composite for the arm. So I'm going to go through and do the exact same thing that I did with the face to the arm. I'm going to create a composite for this arm, for this near arm. So I'll create a composite for this near arm right next to the face composite. And then I am going to put all these arm pieces, the upper arm, the lower arm, the hand, onto that composite. And then I'm going to set the pivot points for them in their respect. Add the pegs and set the pivot points in their respected areas. So for the upper arm, the pivot point will be on the shoulder. The lower arm, the pivot point will be where the elbow is. The hand, the pivot point will be where the wrist is. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I grab the near upper arm, select the lower arm, grab the lower arm, select the hand, grab the hand, and let's separate these a little bit, separate this comp into an area where we have some space. So now we're going to give all of these their parent pegs. So remember, you can go down here, right click, insert, parent pegs. For some reason it keeps sending them back over here, so we'll adjust this. Boom. Now we have the parent pegs. Now we want to set the pivot points for the parent pegs. So we're going to go there, apply embedded pivot, close. Oh. Okay, let's undo that. Do not use embedded pivot. Because we have not set, well actually it shouldn't be set to do not use. Apply embedded pivot on drawing layer. Close. Okay, so now we want to go here and set the pivot point. Boom. We're going to go through and set all of our pivot points. It's the upper arm. Pivot point for the lower arm is the elbow. Pivot point for the hand is the wrist. Boom. Now I'm going to go apply embedded pivot on parent peg. Apply embedded pivot on parent peg. Apply embedded pivot on parent peg. So now all of these pegs should have the same pivot as the drawing layer. Great. So now with this arm, when you move your upper arm, your lower arm, and your hand have to move with it. There's no way you can move your arm without your hand, your upper arm without your lower arm and your hand following. So what we'll do is we'll take this upper arm and then we'll connect the lower arm to it, because when the upper arm moves, the lower arm moves, and then when the lower arm moves, when you move just your lower arm, you can move just your lower arm and your hand. So your hand is going to be connected to your lower arm. Now when we move this upper arm, the lower arm is going to follow. And when we move the lower arm, the hand is going to follow. And then the hand can be moved by itself. Okay? And now we're going to create another peg. And this will be the arm peg, the near arm peg. Then we'll connect that. Boom. So now we have a near arm peg. And then we'll move the pivot point to the upper arm, the area where the upper arm is, to the shoulder. The way I did that, again, was to take the rotation tool, move it to the shoulder. Boom, good. So now every time we select the near arm, the entire peg. Boom. Okay. So next, what should be next? The body. That's the next layer, right? Because we want the arms and the legs to be behind the body. So the body needs to be in front of this far arm and these legs. So we're going to take this body right there. And we're going to create our composite, Control H. And we're going to put our composite right behind this one, this new composite. And we'll call this body comp. Close. And then we're going to take the body that's over here. We're going to put it on this composition. Boom. And when we did that, it automatically made the body in front of this far arm and these legs because it is third in this line. See? 1, 2, 3. So what's in front of it? The face was this first one we made. Then this near arm is on top of the body. And then the body is the third one in layer order. So now we just need to set the pivot point for the body, I would say in the center here. Or, no, we'll set the pivot point for the body at the bottom of the body here. Because if the body moves, we want to be able to move it from the bottom part so that it tilts, that it can tilt. Okay? And since that's set, we can add a peg. And we'll call this is the parent peg, body peg. And close. And now we want to make this body peg pivot point the same, so we're gonna press apply embedded pivot on parent peg. Close. So now you should have the same pivots. Boom. Great. And we'll keep moving right along. So now we want to create a peg. Let's move all of these. Just do some organizing here. Okay, so next, Control H. We want to do this far arm. Control H to create a composite. We'll call it far arm comp. Actually, we'll call it near leg comp because this near leg is the next thing farthest in front, because if this leg were to move, it's going to go in this leg were to swing forward, we want it to go in front of this far leg, so it would also be in front of this far arm. So we're going to call this far leg, near leg comp, because this is the near leg. Close. And we want to grab this upper leg, put it in this comp. I'm going to grab the lower leg, near lower leg, put it in this comp. I'm going to grab the near foot, put it in this comp, this composite. Now we want to set all of the pivot points like we did the last ones. Boom. For the lower leg, it's going to be the knee. Boom. For the foot, it's going to be the ankle. Boom. Okay. Now we want to create parent pegs with all of these. Now we want to set the parent pegs so that they match the drawing pivot, so that they have the same drawing pivot. Apply embedded pivot on parent peg. Apply embedded pivot on parent peg. And then a master peg that is going to be for all of the parts in the leg. But first we're going to, this lower leg is going to be moved by the upper leg, because if your, same thing with as the arm, if your upper leg moves or your thigh moves, your lower leg is going to follow, and then your foot is going to follow that. So your foot is connected to the lower leg is connected to the upper leg, and then we're going to connect it to this leg peg, near leg peg. So at this point, I think you guys kind of get it. So we're going to do the same thing for this far leg and this far arm. So now that that's all done, all of these arms are rigged, all these legs are rigged, this face is rigged, the body is rigged. So now what we want to do is we want to connect everything to the body, all these drawings to the body, so the near leg peg, because if the body moves, everything else is moving. Actually, we want to connect everything to we'll call it a s'more master peg, which controls everything. And then when the body moves, the arms are going to move and the face is going to move with it. So we want to take these arms, connect it to the body, boom. Both of these main arm pegs. And then also the face peg is connected to the body. See, so that way when the body tilts, the face and the arms tilt as well. And then we want to create this s'more master peg that controls everything. So we'll take the legs, connect it to the s'more master peg, and connect the body peg, which has the arms and the face connected to it. Boom. Now everything is connected together. So now if we select the body peg, the arms and the face move. If we go over here and select this arm peg, this entire arm moves. This near arm peg, select this far arm peg, the far arm moves. We select this far leg peg, the far leg moves. Oh, so we have to set this pivot point for this far leg to the top here. So we got to move it down some. Boom. Great. So that's why it's good to go through and test these things. Boom, that far leg moves. And now same thing. We got to adjust this near leg peg as well, pivot point. And now, boom. And it's in front. So all the layers are set the way they are. They have their pegs. The pivot points are set. So this rig is ready to animate. So next episode, that is what we will be doing. we will be animating. So see you guys on the next episode.